Alright, what's going on, you fam? Raiyuden here. So the data download is here for all the new crazy stuff coming as part of the 3rd year anniversary. But I wanted to say real quick, check out my Twitch, because when the banners are live, we will also be live for doing some summons. We can all join in together, join in on the hype, maybe share some luck and some hype moments all together. Maybe we share some successes, and if there's some shafts there, which I'm probably going to be getting, at least we can all just be all there in some good old fun. So check it out, link in the description box below. Now let's jump into the units. We're just going to be seeing how much additional information we have now, because they provided a lot of details as part of their slides, but I want to see some other things, mainly their stats. So Gogeta, I was really worried that this guy was going to have much lower stats, considering he had an abysmal amount of like percent damage inflicted and reduced damage received passives, and his defenses are not looking too bad. If we max him out, it's comparable to the LF Future Gohan, which makes sense, I suppose. Future Gohan is like pretty tanky as well, so I guess that's okay. Offensives are a little bit lower than Vegito Blue's, I believe, but I don't know. He is a defense type, so it's not intended to be his forte, so I'm not gonna complain. I guess that's okay. First thing, I guess, main ability, draws his ultimate, restore health by 30% and ki by 50, nullify own unfavorable element factors, so ghost type neutral for 20 timer counts. LF Super Saiyan 3 only does it for 10, so that's pretty spooky, and you get some card draw speed, so you basically got Jiren's main ability but on steroids. Pretty perfect for the anniversary unit. We know his first passive, 60% damage inflicted, reduce next damage received by 50% as part of combo cover, and then he nullifies abnormal conditions, and when he shows up on the battlefield, gain 30 ki, 50% to damage inflicted, reduce damage received by 30, nullify attribute downgrades, and nullify unfavorable element factors when he is coming in on a cover change. So basically Gogeta kind of just does everything and covers all his bases here, and this is why I was worried about him having potentially lower stats, because with this very easy for him to be a very tanky unit. But once this is gone, at least he has this unremovable 30% reduced damage received, so I think he'll do decently well, looking pretty damn good. He doesn't care about paralysis, bleed, or anything. This guy just nullifies the whole shebang, but being able to go type neutral so often is probably the most remarkable thing about his kit. Now his second passive is essentially like UI Goku's here. Strike or blast, you bring him on a cover change, he's going to nullify that. But the interesting thing here though, cover changes performed against attacks other than a strike or blast attack are also counted as activation. So if you bring in UI Goku, if you bring in Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta on a blue card, it counts as one of these triggers. That's pretty interesting. And obviously if you are doing it against like a Gogeta Super Saiyan 4, then the nullification does not count as you losing a charge. But that's I think that's a first. The fact that a failed cover against a strike or blast counts as a charge. I don't remember if that was the case. I remember it only being on successful ones, like with UI Goku. So I guess that's sort of a nerf to cover changes. I guess they didn't want them to be too OP. And then the controversial passive here, I think this is a wording of what they're trying to say. Revives when health reaches 0 effect, like every time he causes this to occur. I am pretty damn sure this means endurance, not specifically revival, because revival is only tied to 2 units. There's no way they have an entire passive built for 2 units. I think this is for endurance as well. If it is, that's much better. Healing 20% and having your Dragon Balls increased by 2 makes far more sense. He has blast armor on his strike cards like Vegito Blue. His blue card has massive impact, 30% damage buff on his blue card, and then when he successfully hits you, he draws a special move card and restores ki by 50. So basically the guy gets a blue card right after using his blue card when he hits you, which is kind of OP because people tend to chuck those one after another against you to catch you off guard. Pretty scary. Green card applies the following effects to self upon activation. Restore 50 ki. This guy doesn't lack ki, he just gets it from everything. He gets a 20% damage inflicted buff. Gain buff effect, nullify enemy special actions that activate when what? Holy crap, they took Gogeta Blue's passive his forte and slapped it in this guy's green card. Oh my god, this may be one of the best green cards in the game. Holy crap, and it's not even like there's a compromise here. If you hit this, you kill all of your opponent's cards, you cancel their upgrades, and you can just continue comboing them all over again. Holy crap, there's no limit to this. It's not like it activates twice, it just happens forever. This may be one of the best green cards in the game. That is insane. I was saying, cover changes as the metas continue to evolve. Units that cancel those out will be extremely valuable. Gogeta just came out of nowhere and said, forget every other unit. I will do it forever. Just get me. Holy crap, this is one of the best green cards in the game. Wow, well, there you go. There's your justification for leading the 3rd year anniversary. That's insane. His ultimate, Supreme Impact, I would expect nothing less from the anniversary unit. And then once you activate it, a 50% damage buff to the ult, you get rid of sustained damage cut effects, minus 100%, and of course, you kill endurance. You absolutely have to. There's no way the Star Boy is going to be held back by something as pesky as endurance. And of course, he got Blast Armor too. He has the fantastic Strike and Blast Damage Inflicted cards, which are great for your entire team. And we already know that this guy is a double defense unit here. So for GT, Fusion Warrior, as well as Saiyans. We already know that. They told us that he's going to be buffing up Saiyans at 6 stars. That's crazy. I think his kit is really, really damn impressive, if you ask me. That is pretty damn spooky. I don't know what to say. I think that it looks pretty impressive. It's a very, very strong kit, but obviously how well he does on paper and how well he does in game are two vastly different things. I'm really looking forward to potentially using him, assuming I don't get shafted. Now the next unit is obviously Mr. Zamasu over here, and as you may know, I was so eager to see the stats. I've already got this guy at 2 stars, and the first thing that comes out and jumps out at me is his defenses. Boy, oh boy, are really, really low. If we max him out, yeah, they're pretty low. I don't know, Zamasu, you're a big boy. I was hoping that you're going to be a little bit tankier than that, but at least we see that his offensives are very damn good. 260k strike attack without being a transforming unit definitely is impressive. Good old Red Gaki unit. He's looking pretty good out the get-go. So, main ability, he draws his ult. Restore health by 20 and ki by 40. Sorry, health by 20%. Getting only 20 health would be stupid. He gets the nullify enemy restore health when it reaches 0 effect when this character attacks for 30 timer counts. So he kills endurance for 30 timer counts, just like good old purple Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Zenkai 7, or hit, or I think, does yellow DKP do that too? I don't know. Everyone does everything now. And he also gets the 40% ult damage inflicted for 30 timer counts. Good old super strong main ability, and now his first passive. When the battle starts, he gets 80% of damage inflicted, reduces damage received by 30%. So there it is, these flat 30%, 20% reduced damage received passives, but obviously at the compromise of lower stats. Now because Zamasu is not a defense type, I guess it makes sense that his stats are low because he's hit with that double whammy. Not defense type, and he has a 30% reduced damage received passive, so his stats are going to be much lower, and this is kind of painful for the guy. After that, when he is defeated, your allies get a 30% damage inflicted passive. Your enemies are slapped with a -1 arts card draw speed for 30 timer counts debuff, as well as a -70% to health restoration debuff. Oh, that's pretty strong, slapping away card draw speed for a lot of units, as well as their health restoration. I know a lot of people are probably going to be saying this is perfect for Super Saiyan 3 Goku because he heals so much, and his card draw speed means he never stops attacking. This might be a nice little counter to him. And then his next passive, he does a knockback if he cover changes on a strike attack that can be comboed with his blue card, and then plus 15 to damage inflicted every time this character uses a strike or blast arts card, up to 60%. Also restores own health by 5% if own health is 70% or less. Oh, wait a minute, that's not part of this passive, is it? No, it's not. Okay, I was gonna say, is that heals by 5% every time he uses a strike card? Strike or blast? No. Okay. I guess he has a little bit of decent sustain. And then the following effects occur according to the enemy actions while this character is on the battlefield. When an enemy lands a Strike or Blast card, he is going to be losing 5 ki, and he's going to be taking less damage taken, 5% for 5 timer counts. I'm not a fan of this, because, I mean, Super Saiyan 4 Goku will prove to you that this is not that great, especially only 5%. It's not going to be noticeable for a little while, I don't think. And then when the enemy switches characters, we restore our Vanish Gauge by 50%, activates 8 times, so Zamasu casually stealing this from good old Broly. And then when an enemy is defeated, except by self-destruct, destroy all your enemy's cards, so that's pretty damn cool. This seems to favor a situation where Zamasu kills someone with a Rising Rush, and with you having no cards in your hand and your opponent probably having cards, they always initiate with like a tackle or something, but now they don't have anything to initiate with. Pretty neat. And then he has these interesting Strike and Blast cards. These are brand new, extra damage against a specific tag, so he gets the upgrade of 10% extra damage inflicted against Saiyans upon activation every time he goes and uses a Strike or a Blast card, which is pretty cool. 10 timer counts, so he's definitely going to be beating the crap out of Saiyans, man. He's just, you know, 80% out the get-go, and then he's going to be getting another 60% should you be going with a nice little combo, but he's also going to be getting this. So for 10 timer counts, you can build up a max additional passive of goodness knows how much here. That's pretty scary. Easily 180% extra damage inflicted against Saiyans, so Zamasu definitely showing why he hates mortals. And then his blue card, massive impact damage, 20% to special move damage inflicted for 3 timer counts when he pops it, and then he draws a green card should it hit. And then his green card is a AoE priority gaining card, just when God Ki didn't have enough. Restore own ki by 40 upon activation. The following effects occur when he hits. Inflict all enemies with 3 sub counts. That's fantastic. So just like Omega Shenron, he will basically lock you in if he nails you with this green card. Nullify own unfavorable element factors for 3 timer counts. So good old Zamasu decides to one up this thing and go and type neutral, which means you don't even have to. It's silly, because that is enough time for you to knock back your opponent, hit them, pop main, and probably go for a rush. I think 3 timer counts is enough time to perform all those things, which is pretty scary. And then it chains into basically everything, so. Oh boy, Zamasu doesn't look like he does a good job of taking hits, but you better not let him hit you. Otherwise, you're going to be taking a lot of damage. And then his ultimate, Supreme Impact, no surprise at all. Only minus 50% to the enemy sustained damage cut stuff. I'm surprised it's not 100%, but I guess it's because his damage inflicted passive is so high. And then applies the following effects to all enemies on hit. Reduces ki by 100. Inflicts no switching for 5 timer counts. So a lock-in after hitting? Interesting. I guess it's to really finish off whoever you're going to be fighting against. Pretty damn scary. And he gets a nice little strike card that restores own ki by 5. And I like the fact that they started with buffing God Ki, because they were fully aware that God Ki needed a new red. Part of me was concerned that they're gonna stash away the God Ki buff all the way on the 6-star, but they decided to throw it on Future, which is okay. This is a significant overlap between Future and God Ki anyways. So, look at that. Good old strike attack and defense. Zamasu looks like he has a really good kit. I'm just concerned about the low defensive stat, because remember, it's an LF. How often or how many stars could everyone possibly get him, right? I mean, I guess if I throw him at 6 stars, that's still rather low. He's definitely going to be taking quite a punch from a lot of meta Zenkai units, but it's not to say that his kit is not already looking really good. Now we're going to go ahead and look at the other featured units here. So obviously a Vegito Blue. I'm going to go ahead and throw him at 2 stars, and we know that he is a range type over here. So blast attack, strike attack looking pretty comparable. Defenses looking okay. People were wondering how well this guy is going to fit against like UI Goku or the Vegeta. We're about to find out. His main ability given him his ultimate. Restore on health by 25% and ki by 50, and 50% to ult damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. So pretty standard, I suppose. His first passive, applies the following effects to himself when the battle starts. 60% to damage inflicted, cannot be taken away. Reduces damage received by 40% for 50 timer counts, which cannot be cancelled. That is kind of silly. 40% for 50 timer counts, my goodness. Why are you all of a sudden looking like the defense type here? And then a -10 to blast arts costs, which is great. His supportive capabilities, so to Fusion Warriors, God Key, or future units, when he goes on standby, they will get an extra 20% to damage inflicted, as well as a 20% to key recovery, which is nice. It's kind of a minor supportive passive, but keep in mind that he's going to be run with he's going to most likely be ran on God Key, less so future, unless people don't, well, I don't know. But this is going to be pretty good, especially paired alongside Vados, so oh boy, everyone's going to be taking quite a bit of pain. And then his second passive, when he enters the field, he will randomly draw a card if you have 3 or fewer. I'm not really a fan of randomly drawing a card because who knows what this random card could be. If you have like only enough key for a strike card and you draw a blue randomly, hoping that you drew one more card, that's going to be a big yikes, buddy. And then he has a plus 70% to next blast arts damage inflicted, cannot be stacked. So just like Broly when he pops his green card, your blast card gets quite a bit of buff, just one of them. And then he has a plus 15% to next special move arts damage inflicted every time this character uses a strike or blast arts card, up to 60%. So like the movie Vegeta, and just like the yellow transforming Vegito, you get to buff up your special move after you land a couple cards here, which is cool. And then applies the following effects to self once 25 timer counts have elapsed from the battle start. He gets a 40% damage inflicted passive that cannot be removed, as well as a reduced damage received. So momentarily, this guy for 25 timer counts is going to have a minus 65% damage received passive. Are you sure he's not the defense type? This guy's looking like he's going to be tankier than the other guys. What is this? Let me look at your 14-star stats. Yeah. Vegito Blue, are you trying to steal the show again? Stop it. Let someone else shine over here. Blast Arts is going to be reducing the special move cost. Pretty standard stuff that we see from a lot of these similar units. I like them. I think they're fun. Blue card, Massive Impact, minus 30% to enemy sustained damage cut effects, and then cannot be nullified by most other special moves. You know, typical Vegito Blue things. Green card is going to be one of those ones where you got to go ahead and run up to them and hit them with this. So upon activation, you will get 50 key. Holy crap, you get card draw speed. And, wait, what? Inflicts all enemies with no switching for 5 timer counts. Oh my god, they gave him a lock-in. Oh my god. You land a green card and you got a lock-in? Oh man, this guy ran with Zamasu. Oh god, if you get a green card supplying unit, then it basically means that they got some pretty fancy lock-ins to just Rising Rush everybody. Uh-oh. That's looking kind of spooky. And then if you smack the opponent with it, oh, you take away your Dragon Ball and you kill all the green cards. Hey, that's not bad. Guaranteed Dragon Ball killing green cards. I think might be time to do a purple red over here with EX Whis. You're telling me I can stop all Rising Rushes? I'll take that. His ultimate here, Massive Impact, applies the following effects to self upon activation. Keep note that it is not a, well, actually, there's only one ranged ultimate anyways. It's from the Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, but restores key by 50 upon activation. Oh, he gets his Vanish back, just like Bardock. He increases arts card draw speed by level 1 for 15 timer counts. Wow, Vegito Blue, man. Why is it that Vegito Blue, he's able to get himself level 2 card draw speed if he can time these really well? That's scary. This guy's kit has the potential to be really damn dangerous. This right here, paired alongside the card draw speed from these two, that's pretty interesting. Wow, the future band is looking kind of stacked here. Fusion Warrior Blast Attack, Fusion Warrior God Key, and then Fusion Warrior God Key and Future. And it is Blast Attack and then Strike Defense. I don't know why they decided to switch it up all of a sudden. They usually just do double blast kind of buffs. Huh. Very weird. Next, we got Kefla. I find it weird that it's Kefla, considering that future theme. I think it would have made more sense if it was like Trunks or something, but sure. I don't know. Put her at 2 stars there, so looking pretty similar here with her strike attack being a little bit more than Vegito Blue, but obviously she's a strike-oriented unit, so what do we got here? Main ability, getting her ultimate, restore ki by 40. She goes ahead and, oh, look at that. She removes cover change for 15 timer counts, so another unit that's getting one of these. Fusion Warriors being the anti-cover rescue unit team now. And then inflicts all enemies with the attribute downgrade plus 15% to impact damage received for 15 timer counts. Seems a little bit low for a team-wide debuff, doesn't it? I don't know. Seems a little bit low. I don't know. Her first passive applies the following effects to self when she shows up. 60% damage inflicted. Reduces damage received by 30% for 20 timer counts. Why does she have a limited one? And then plus 60% to ki recovery for 15 timer counts. And then applies the following effects to self every time she uses a striker blast stars. She restores ki, activates 3 times, and then... Wait, what? Oh, okay. Okay, it's a good thing that they said activates once. Oh, I was getting scared right there. I'm like, oh my god, plus 50% to damage inflicted. How many times can this happen? And it's only once. Oof. You almost had us there, Legends. Are you sure Kefla wasn't leading the celebration here? If that happened once or more than once, that's pretty scary. And then her second passive, every time her attack is evaded by your opponent, she will restore 20 ki. She gets a 20% damage inflicted buff. Restores her own Vanish Gauge, oh, by 60. Randomly draw 1 new card when you have 3 or fewer. What times where 4 cards are held are also counted as activations? Oh, okay. And then activation count resets when character is switched. Look at that, 60% Vanish Gauge restore. That's the exact same amount as that transforming Super Saiyan God Vegeta. So she's going to be getting her Vanish back quite often. Oh, that's going to catch a lot of people off guard. So standard Strike and Blast, blue card, massive impact with a damage inflicted buff upon activation, ranged. Her green card is just a self buff here, heals 15%, gets a minus 30% to sustain damage cut effects buff, and then reduces next damage received by 20%. This applies until enemy combo is finished. So wow, look at that, she can get up to 50% then. All these units have quite a bit of sustained damage cut effects. And then her ultimate, massive impact, once it's activated, 30% damage inflicted. Another reduced damage received passive. So much reduced damage received amongst all these units. Huh. And then she has a standard Strike and Blast, Rival Universe Strike Attack, Rival Universe Fusion Warriors, and Girls. Okay. And again, Strike Attack, and then Blast Defense. Very strange. Now for the GT side, we got Mr. Eis Shenron here. 2-star, maxed out. So looking pretty standard, I suppose, here if we max them out. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good, pretty standard, pretty-ish. Over here, main ability is this. See, this is what I thought was crazy. I think his main ability is insane. He gets a blue card, 50 ki, a damage buff, shortens ally sub count, and then takes away your opponent's Vanish Gauge. This seems OP to me. This is insane, especially considering how well he works with Nouva Shenron. As we know from Nouva Shenron's kit, he has a lock-in, but without going too far into all that, when he shows up, 70% damage inflicted, reduces damage received by 35% for 15 timer counts, reduction of cost for the Strike and Blast Stars for 15 timer counts, and then inflict enemy tag girls with the attribute down. Wow. Is this person intended just to crap on Android 18? Plus 30 to all arts costs? She basically can't do a super long combo. After 1 or 2 cards, it's over. Interesting. That's a nice little way to kind of box her out. While this character is on the battlefield, seal enemy strike arts when the opponent switches characters. So typical like ultimate, well, not typical, but just like Ultimate Gohan. And then the next passive, when he is faced with an enemy, reduces their ki by 15, and then they get the following debuffs. They take 30% extra damage, they have a +2 sub count cost, and a 50% reduction in Vanish Gauge recovery. Has his standard Strike and Blast, his blue card massive impact, ranged attribute downgrade plus 20% to impact damage received for 15 timer counts. Seal one of the cards, and then the sealed card cannot be used for 10 timer counts. Okay. And then his green card is just a self buff, reduces damage received by 30% for 5 timer counts. So another, I wonder why they're going so crazy with all the reduced damage received passives. It's like they know that Zenkais deal a lot of damage, so their only option is just Here's an abundance of reduced damage received amongst all these characters. Destroy all your enemies' blue cards, ultimates, or... oh wait, yeah, ultimates, or those awakened cards. Interesting. Counter will activate upon enemy tap, tackle, or strike attack when in fighting pose. So we know this. This is the Buhan green card, and then you get the 20% damage inflicted passive, and the 50. No, it's not. This is the slashing of the eyes, and then this is the 50% to next blue card damage. Okay, whoops. I almost mistook it for the barrier. No, this is the one where he slashes the opponent's eyes to immobilize them. Blast card to destroy cards. Okay. GT blast attack, and defense. Plus 10% to Shadow Dragon strike attack. There's that little bonus there for Shadow Dragons that we expected. Okay, alright. Nouva Shenron. So many new units to go through, so I apologize if this video is long, but for this guy, so, you know, standard-ish like stats. If we max him out here. Yeah, now his defense has become comparable to the LF that is a defense type, but this guy's a strike-oriented unit. Interesting. I wonder what his reduced damage received passives are. So, his main ability is where it does that no switching thing, so everyone is basically not allowed to switch, but he's the mono-a-mono guy. Destroy all of your own and enemy cards, plus 20% to damage inflicted for 20 timer counts. You get your Vanish Gauge back and increase card draw speed. This feeds pretty damn well into his other passive that banks on how long he's on the field, but first passive, when he shows up, 70% to damage inflicted, reduced damage received by 25, which cannot be stacked. So there's that little extra damage passive here for that mono-a-mono battle. He's gonna hold his own pretty good. Extra 10% to strike damage inflicted per Dragon Ball that you own, and then applies the following effects if a GT other than this character is a battle member: 50% to key recovery and 30% to Vanish Gauge recovery. So he's going to be juking and fighting everyone solo dolo. And then this is what I was talking about earlier. If he's on the field for 3 timer counts, you get a 20% damage inflicted buff. 5 timer counts, you get the card draw speed. 8 timer counts, you get 50 key. So that's this passive feeding into his main ability is going to be pretty good. I think a lot of people are going to have a lot of fun with this. This is going to be pretty fun. Just beating the crap out of your unit there. Blue card, ranged blue card, massive explode. Applies the following effects upon activation. 25% to special move damage inflicted buff. Cancel up normal conditions. And then here's the barrier. So nullifies all the attacks, excluding a Rising Rush. And then if they are close range, knock them back to long range, with you being able to chain, strike, blast, special move. But with that, you gain 30 key and a 30% to strike damage inflicted passive. So this 30% buff, paired alongside the 10% dragon per Dragon Ball buff that you have here, plus the damage inflicted buff, you can get yourself quite a bit of damage rolling here. That's kind of spooky. In a nice condition, you're gonna have what, 190% strike damage inflicted with level 2 card draw speed. Spooky. And then got your good old, wow, he even has the 10% damage inflicted buff strike cards. Wow, he definitely is gonna be packing a punch then. And then the Z ability is just like good old Eis Shenron here. From there we have the EX units. We got a Super Baby 2, Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, and a Super 17, as well as a Rose, just because they love their future. We're just going to quickly go over these guys, just because I don't really see anybody going crazy over these guys. I mean, EXs just seem to mainly fit the filler role here, so stats are pretty reminiscent of an EX unit. His main ability, draw a strike card, reduce cost for strike cards, destroy all your enemy cards. Can be pretty neat. He gets the following effects if he has a GT or powerful opponent battle member. He gets 20% damage inflicted passive, reduce damage received by 5, and -1 to strike cards cost. Oh no, -1. Nice. And then his second passive, every time he's faced with a Saiyan opponent, 30% to damage inflicted, reduce damage received by 15%, inflict enemy attribute downgrade plus 20% to damage received, and then applies the following effects every time faced with a character Goku, gets card draw speed for 5 timer counts, and he restores 30 key. So it's a pretty meh kit, but I mean, he's an EX unit, just meant as filler, I suppose, or collective purposes. He's got a, standard-ish blue card, major explode, damage inflicted buff. This green card is going to make your opponent take extra strike damage, and you get increased ki recovery. Curious about his Z ability though. Yeah, strike attack and defense for GT and powerful opponent. Okay. Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. Let's see. I don't really see you being... Yeah, I don't really see it either here. What do you got? Destroy all your cards and randomly draw 4 new ones. 50% to blast damage inflicted. Seal 1 enemy card, and the sealed card cannot be used for 5 timer counts, so that's not bad, I suppose. Applies the following effects to self from battle start for 100 timer counts. 70% to damage inflicted buff, reduce damage received by 30, minus 10 to blast arts cost. Ooh, this might not be bad if you have a blast heavy deck then. Minus 10 to those costs there, paired alongside with being able to draw 4 new ones. That's not bad. And then when he shows up on the field, you gain 20 ki. And then applies the following effects to allies when he's defeated. They heal 20% with a 25% damage inflicted buff. Just another standard kit, really. Doesn't really speak volumes on anything. He's just meant as filler again. Major explode damage, and then minus 100% to health restoration, which is nice. Green card, 10% heal, 15% damage inflicted passive, and kills attribute downgrades in abnormal conditions. And he is a... Yes, he is a green and yellow buffer. Yeah, I've been waiting a long time for these units. The only other one was Yamcha. I was waiting a long time for a green yellow buffer. Thank you very much. I definitely appreciate having one of those. Now we're gonna go ahead and look at Super 17, 2-star. Yeah, pretty standard stuff. I mean, it's an EX unit really. What do we got? Main ability. 50% to damage inflicted for 20 timer counts, 30% to own crit rate with card draw speed. That's actually not bad for his kit, for his main ability. That's not bad at all. Applies the following effects to self when this character enters the field. He draws a blast card, only happens 3 times though. Restores 20 ki, 40% to damage inflicted, and then his next passive applies the following effects to self when the battle starts. 40% to blast damage inflicted, minus 10 to blast card cost, reduce damage received by 25%, and then restore 30% of damage received after enemy attack is over, up to 30% of your own health. It's not bad. I mean, out of all the kits, his might be the best one, but I mean, it's the same thing as before. Oh, this blue card though. Deals major impact, takes away 100 ki when it hits you. That can be annoying. Green card, reduce damage received by 30%. And then that ends when the combo is finished, and then 30% to blast damage inflicted. That's not bad, I suppose. His kit may be the better one out of the bunch here. Now, Rose, what do you got here? I'm actually really surprised they even made an EX Rose. He seems like one of those forms that you don't bother making an EX for. His defenses are not bad, though, at 14 stars. That's not bad at all. That's comparable to some Sparkings here. This is actually higher than... this is higher than Zamasu's at 2 stars. That's interesting. So what do we got here? He draws a green card with his main. Restore own ki by 80 with a 30% to strike damage inflicted passive. His first passive, 40% to damage inflicted when battle starts. The following effects occur when the enemy attack is over. Restore own health by 5. Plus 20% to damage inflicted by ally God Ki members. And then his second passive, when this character enters the field, reduce damage received by 40% for 15 timer counts. Applies the attribute upgrades, shortens sub count by 3 for 10 timer counts. And then inflicts the enemy with a plus 10 to strike arts cost debuff for 5 timer counts when changing cover. And then inflict enemy with attribute downgrade plus 5% to damage received for 25 timer counts. Every time an enemy uses a striker blast arts while this character is on the battlefield. That's not bad, actually. Especially this guy right here. But then again, I mean, just like before, because he's an EX defense unit, you're gonna need a lot of stars for him to be able to take a hit. So I don't know how well people would be able to take advantage of this right now. Probably take a while. Blue card is the Violent Fierce God Slicer, Major Explode. Reduce enemy ki by 70 on hit. Green card being 15% to damage inflicted. Inflict all enemies with the downgrade plus 20% to damage received. So it's pretty standard stuff with him being a double defense. Now alongside all these units, Holy crap, I need water. I talked for like a bajillion hours here, but aside from all those things, we also got a bunch of new equipment. We got this equipment that is an Awakened God Key equip. So if you want to pump up your God Key units, then you're in luck here because you get both defenses with up to 32% strike attack. Isn't that fantastic? And this one here is misleading. I'm pretty sure this is a reduction. This is a minus 4 to 8% blast attack here. So another Awakened equip to work for if you're a God Key main. Especially these guys over here could definitely use it, aka him. This guy in particular could definitely use it. He has a lot of offense, very little defense. This right here just shines with him. We also got this right here, strike defense with double offenses here. It seems like a PvP equip. Never mind, I lied. It's right there. You can get it from that event. We got one just for GT as well. Same thing, double offenses with strike defense. The event right there. And then we also got this right here. This is pretty good. It's just defense. You can either get blast defense or strike defense, and then the next one being blast defense or strike defense, and then you get both over here. Isn't that great? Fits pretty damn well for Mr. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, who is a defense type. So I don't know, I feel like I rambled on forever. I don't even know if this is going to be useful, but hopefully it helps formulate some ideas about these units, their kits, and maybe it can help you make your better judgment of who you like and who you don't like. Well, overall, I think a lot of them have really good kits. I like all of them, but my only concern is how well they fare against a lot of the meta teams, because remember, it's one thing to be good on paper, it's another thing to be good on the field. We'll have to see. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to check out the Twitch because within a few hours we're going to be going live as well for the summons. Join in on the fun because just like last year and the year before that, we always had some crazy hype during our summons, so you definitely want to be part of that. Now, until next time, guys, I'll see you live. We're going to wish us all the best of luck. Peace.